Group today at 630-415-5296. Once again, 630-415-5296, or better yet, visit our website at pjntaxsolutions.com. PJN Tax Solutions Group. Call us when you want the IRS off of your ASS.
Dell's semi-annual sale for business has arrived. Enjoy specials on Dell docks, monitors, and servers, plus up to 45% off the latest Dell business computers powered by Intel Core processors. So call 877-ASK-DELL to speak with the Dell Technologies advisor. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
7:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
In Huntley, rail crossing gates are stuck down on 47 at Main Street. Expect heavy congestion there. On the Edens Expressway, your drive time is 15 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 14. On the Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. A little quicker in the Express. Outbound 18 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower. Delays start at Manhunt, 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. 23 from Wolf, and outbound 25 minutes to 390. Stevenson is 26 minutes from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 22, the Ryan 17 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 11 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford 11. On the northbound Tri-State, the ramp to the outbound Eisenhower is heavy. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy, windy, and warm. Some of those wind gusts could top 50 miles an hour this afternoon. Showers expected as well. High 64. Currently 57. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and this is fun. A psychologist named John Duffy. He's the author of Parenting the New Teen in the Age of Anxiety, and I strongly encourage you to not get his book.
Okay.
Prince Harry opens up a role model for emotional availability in men and boys. Prince Harry is the ideal 21st century man emotionally, according to psychologist John Duffy. So
is it a tutorial on how to cut off your naughty bits and hand them to your wife?
He's the eunuch.
Yeah.
The new man, the 21st century man.
I mean, if anybody watched that 2-hour interview, you know who wears the pants in that family. Holy cow.
Psychologist Duffy, I wish other men and boys could do what he did. Speak frankly about the pain he suffers in his family relationships. Harry's emotional expression could encourage men and boys to open up as well, to reframe and broaden our definition of masculinity. After all, here's a young man we watched grow up in the public eye.
Oh.
So wistful. We saw him as a child in the immediate wake of losing his mother. We saw him connect with his brother through grief. We've seen him screw up. We saw him in uniform, and we saw him reaching out to help others. Harry is, by all accounts, a guy's guy, a man's man, a role model for masculinity.
You know, I often say, Dan, why can't you be more like Prince Harry?
I'm just not man enough to be that vulnerable. For another man's man, 21st century man, who's emotionally available, as I understand. Chadwick Moore, contributing editor for The Spectator. Chadwick, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning. Here and emotionally available at your service.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's interesting. Piers Morgan apparently can't live in this 21st century world of masculinity. He just stormed off his show after taking Meghan Markle to task for her race hustle. There's no reason he had to quit, but people just sort of throwing up their arms at this point, and I sort of understand it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's exhausting, isn't it? Yeah, Meghan Markle's race hustle is nice to watch. I mean, here's someone who has to constantly tell everyone she's black because she doesn't really look it. So that's how much race affects her life, I guess. It's I think the British people are it's bizarre because I was watching media coverage of it, and even the British media is framing Meghan Markle as that Americans sort of love her and enjoyed the interview. I don't really see that. It's a weird situation of the American media trying to build her up and turn her into something that people are just as resistant towards as I think the British people who clearly like her.
Yeah, I'll defer to Amy on this because she's the royal follower. But
she's a sorority sister.
Queen Elizabeth was the celebrated. Oh, everybody loves Queen Elizabeth. Well, now you got to pick one. Is it going to be Meghan Markle or is it going to be Queen Elizabeth?
It's going to be Queen Elizabeth. You go with what's the original. And I liked her response, their royal response to what happened, and that they're reaching out. They still, are part of the family. They still love them. But Meghan Markle has this amazing way of victimizing herself. I mean, she's always in turmoil, whether it's not her dad or her half-sister, and now it's with the royals. And, my kids are Puerto Rican, and when I was pregnant, we wondered out loud, like, are they going to have darker skin or lighter skin? Are they going to have blue eyes or brown eyes or dark hair or blonde hair? And does that make us racist, Chadwick?
Are they going to be men or women or something in between? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was such a strange part of the interview that blew up. Is that we don't even really know what exactly was said or what the context was or who said it, and so just sort of questioning what the child's going to look like somehow becomes extremely racist. We don't even know what was said. If it's like, oh, is he going to have dark hair and blue eyes? Is he going to have dark eyes and fair skin? Just having this conversation, and it immediately turned into some sort of race question because, of course, we are living we're still on the sort of like fringes of this racial moral panic, which most people are just exhausted by, but they can still turn anything they want into a kind of race question. And, there's evil racists everywhere. And here they are trying to determine the skin color of the baby and have some kind of moral freak out over it. It was a bizarre statement she made, and we didn't really, from what I didn't watch the whole interview. I just sort of saw the headlines the next day, but
I watched
we got
every
much more
second of it.
information.
That's plenty. Speaking of moral panics, let's move over to all things COVID related, and you can get, according to the CDC, you can start to get pieces of your life back, but it's a give and take relationship. We have to take some of your life permanently in order to give you some of it back. So we'll move from mask mandates, as we were just discussing before you joined us, to vaccine passports.
Yeah. Another one of these instances that, I don't think legally the federal government can make you have one, but of course the private businesses can, if suddenly they say you can't get on an airplane unless you have this vaccine passport, well, that's going to be a good enough reason for a bunch of people who don't want the vaccine, don't need it. Most people don't need it. Let's be honest here. I think that a huge number of the population probably already had the virus and didn't even know it. That's how dangerous it is. But if it's sort of like, the saying goes that, Orwell never thought that this kind of totalitarianism would come from the private sector, not the public one. And if they want to start enforcing these vaccine passports, well, there's a good chance that they're just going to go with private industry to do it. I think they're considering, or they're trying to here in New York, require vaccine passports if you want to go to live shows and Broadway theater and things of that nature. Pretty insane stuff, and I can bet there's going to be a huge black market popping up of fake vaccine passports that you could probably, get on the dark web or something.
Yeah, but they're in the system. They log you in because I got a vaccine, and they not only get your vaccine card, but you're in the system. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is
that's even
scary.
more terrifying.
Yeah, it's very worrisome.
You're writing about the double maskers in New York, and that's a thing now, double maskers. I like that. That's a category of people. You noticed something about the double maskers, a commonality, in addition to the fact that they all did their undergrad at Sarah Lawrence. What is that?
Well, it really seems to be a state of mind and an attitude, these double masks. Well, firstly, there's a protocol to how they wear the double masks, I've noticed. So there's always this sort of blue surgical mask, the standard one underneath, overlaid with the fashion mask or the political mask, which, of course, has the effect of creating contrast in both color and pattern so that it is very obvious they are wearing two masks, in case you were wondering, in case you wanted to know who is your moral better, who watches more news than you do, who's on the cutting edge of mask protocol and mandates. it is this person. They seem to be the sort of person who is, extremely socially repulsive. That's the sort of message they're broadcasting when you see someone wearing a double mask. They're trying to say, get away from me. I am unwell. And I aspire to live in a far more totalitarian government than we currently do. You know, the general mood around these things is that there's a sort of preference falsification, I feel like, with masks, that the majority of people are quietly realizing that we've been taken for a ride, that this stuff doesn't mean anything. We just saw this report, I believe, from the CDC
Right.
that said the masks helped stop 1.5% of transmissions. What's that turn out? What's that translate to, like one death? Okay, so we've gone through all of this to stop 1.5% of transmissions.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And then you have these double maskers who, as soon as the news or the government says the one mask you've been wearing for over a year now wasn't good enough, you actually need two, well, they are first in line to get up and add that extra layer. Of course, that has nothing to do with public safety, because if they were that concerned about it, you wouldn't even see
Yeah, but
these people
schools
out
are
on the
doing
streets.
this. I
They'd be
mean,
at home.
there's a school in Bexley City Schools in Ohio. They're mandating 2 masks when they return to in-person learning. Here in the Chicago area, Maine Township, so Maine South, all the Maine East, Maine West, they're requiring double masks. And I reached out to parents at Maine South, and you know what they said? They said, well, we're just happy for now that they're back in school. We'll fight this battle later.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Going along to get along.
They'll lose. Well, of course, they'll fight this battle, meaning we've surrendered, and we'll surrender more later. When it comes to the fall and what's haute couture is mummification of the kids in order to go to school, then we'll do that, right?
Yeah, if you have to wear a clove of garlic around your neck, then they will say, absolutely, we'll do it, anything you say.
Not a problem. Since you're there in Gotham, Andrew Cuomo, tick, 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 tick. We should probably, the New York Democrat Socialists should probably get one of their trial lawyer friends to set up a 1-800 line with the sort of, if you have been injured in a sexual harassment incident in the workplace with Andrew Cuomo, please call this number. Is he going to survive, do you think?
It's tough to say, because I had this sense that while everyone's sort of hoping for his, especially people who are against the Democrat Party and the left are sort of hoping for his fall, and they're sort of laughing at all of this and thinking that he deserves it. But I mean, the fact that so many Democrats are on board with this makes me worry that who are the people that are behind this and who really want him out? And I think it's the far left, because they want to. And Andrew Cuomo is not. He's you could say many, many bad things about him, but he's not really one of these woke progressives. He's just kind of a who knows to what level of corruption, kind of old school Democrat goon.
Yeah, pantomiming the new thing, right?
Oh, yeah. And if they get him out, they can install whatever Democrat they want. They can make it one of these far left people like de Blasio or who knows who else. But we're also in this age where morality no longer matters. So Andrew Cuomo can have, I think we're up to 6 accusers now. He could have 600 accusers now. And unless the right people get on board to push him out, and these would be liberals in media and business, he's under no obligation to resign. And in the sense of this is the way our culture has gone, he absolutely should resign, but he won't, because people don't care about this anymore. They don't care about our leaders being moral. They don't care about our leaders doing the right thing. And if he decides he wants to stay in power, then he will just sit there and do it, and eventually it'll blow over and everyone will forget about it.
He is Chadwick Moore, contributing editor for The Spectator. Chadwick, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If your passion is in design and innovation, Northwestern University's Master of Product Design and Development Management program is for you. I'm Dr. Walter Herbst. Our 2-year and 1-year accelerated part-time management programs are made for leaders like you involved with design and development of any products or services. The Master of Product Design and Development Management program is regarded as the premier design thinking management program in the world. It balances MBA teachings with advanced design and development